In their 5th year of marriage, Gu Yan became wildly infatuated with a female college student. The girl came from a poor background but was strong and independent. Faced with Gu Yanchen's financial assistance, she refused without hesitation. Mr. Gu, I hear you adore your wife. If she knew you go to great lengths to force me to be your canary, what would happen? The girl's threat did not bother Gu Yanchen. Instead, he raised a playful smile. Have you ever heard of me? Knows things too. Tell me. The girl, mortified and angry, turned to leave. But Gu Yanchen, as if possessed, chased after her, completely forgetting that she was originally the childhood sweetheart who was supposed to be his wife. Jiang Xianwan unraveled a blue sweater she had been knitting for half a year and set fire to a sunflower field that covered 10 acres. Half a month later, she will leave here forever. But her then husband, who was infatuated with her, had none of that similarity. On the 10th day of her impending departure, it happened to be her wedding anniversary with Gu Yanchen. He stood her up and went to the bakery where that girl worked, sitting there all day just to wait for her to finish. The 9th day is approaching. He left her alone on the surgery table for appendicitis, while delivering congee to the girl working overtime in the rain. The 7th day is approaching. He melted the wedding ring personally designed by Jiang Xianwan to show his determination, and had a set of exquisite platinum earrings made for the girl. On the 6th day before she was about to leave, she was taken by Gu Yan to an auction. As soon as she entered, Gu Yanchen fixed his gaze on a waiter. That girl, she was the Lin Qingmei mentioned in the rumors. Gu Yanchen has excellent taste. Unlike the spoiled young masters in the Beijing circle who like to be coddled, the girl is very selective. At 5 feet 5 inches, with a proportional figure, her coiled hair accentuates her long neck. Like a proud swan, even in a rosered outfit, her back remains straight, neither humble nor arrogant. Gu Yanchen's eyes brightened again, sometimes shouting for more wine, sometimes spilling the wine, asking her to wipe it for him. Everyone around was gossiping about the infection farce. Only Jiang Xianwan didn't care, her gaze fixed on the pink diamond necklace on the auction stage. After several rounds of bidding, the model buyer and her persistent rival continued to vie for the item. As the two sides remained locked in a stalemate, Gu Yanchen suddenly raised his hand and directly lit the sky lamp, bidding the necklace up for an astronomical price. The entire room gasped, with everyone marveling that Gu Yanchen was a wife-loving maniac. Respectable guests at the banquet will personally hand the tray to that waiter when facing the host. I heard girls like things in pink, he said in a loving tone. Here you go. The girl pushed Gu Yanchen's hand away calmly. Mr. Gu, I've said it before. I have no interest in the wealthy families. Nor do I want to be your canary. No matter what you give me won't change anything. Please take back the wallet and stop interfering with my work. After speaking, the girl performed with an empty wine glass. Gu Yanchen, instead of being angry, smiled and chased after her. Jiang Xianwan tightly gripped the neck of Gu Yanchen's hand and rushed straight out. On the dark deck of the ship, Gu Yanchen was still entangled with that girl. Seeing her strong will, Gu Yanchen casually tossed it away. That necklace worth hundreds of millions was then thrown into the sea. This vulgar pink certainly doesn't suit you. He pursued her with interest. Let's try something else. Purple, blue, there's bound to be a color you like. Having finished speaking, he left without turning back, completely unaware that Jiang Xianwan was just stepping over the railing, jumping into a dark, surging sea. Cold seawater instantly filled her mouth and nose, but she still clutched that pink light. Sinking further, it was a keepsake from her mother. Last year, to help Gu Yan start a business, she gritted her teeth and sold off a necklace. In front of the pawn shop, she thought that when she was rich in the future, she would definitely have to insist on asking Gu Yanchen to redeem it, and then cry and complain about the grievances of these years. But there was no chance anymore. Lin's wife's complaints. He preferred to listen to the coquettishness of a woman he had just known for 3 months. In the black and blue seawater, past memories rose like bubbles. She grew up with Gu Yanchen. Jiang Xianwan was lively and energetic, like a little sun, while Gu Yanchen was cold and silent, like a huge ice mountain. This and that, others always see them laughing. They were born to be carvers. But that wasn't the case. Gu Yanchen has a willful and obsessive personality, dark and manipulative. And once he sets his mind on something, he will never easily change it. He doesn't like to pay attention to Jiang Xianwan. No matter how many times she approaches him. Once. Twice. 100 times. The result is always the same. He didn't like the desserts she made. She changed. Changed again. Flipping through both Chinese and Western recipes. Still to no avail. He didn't love her. She chased after him for a year. 2 years. 10 years. He remained unmoved. He got annoyed with her. Tired of her clumsiness. Asking her to stop pestering him. So Jiang Xianwan died. Until that year at 20. Gu Yanchen accidentally encountered a car accident. Paralyzed from the lower limbs. He was abandoned by the Gu family's descendants and thrown into the dilapidated old mansion in the suburbs. The once shining star fell to become mud under the shoe. And everyone could step on it with ease. Gu Yanchen also gave up on himself. Spending his days drunk and lost. It was Jiang Xianwan who, despite opposition, moved to the suburbs to for him and encourage him to stand up again. It was her who searched far and wide for doctors. Kneeling for 3 days and nights in front of the famous doctor's door in the Jean Basin bathroom, begging him to save him. It was her who sold everything, raising funds for his entrepreneurship, supporting him step by step back to the pinnacle of power in Jing City. Taking the helm of the Gu family again, he was deeply moved. The company went public and Jiang Xianwan finally got married that day, announcing to the world, Jiang Xianwan, you are my son. I am your sunflower. And from now on, the sunflower will always follow the sun. 5 years into the marriage, the sunflower went on strike. Gu Yanchen fell in love with Lin Qingpi at first sight. At that moment, Jiang Xianwan decisively quickened her pace towards Gu Yanchen. Actually, after all these years, the sun has been tired long ago. Sorry, Gu Yanchen. I'm going to take back my light. 02. 4 hours later, Jiang Xianwan finally out of the sea. She trembled all over. Her lips pale. Her skin glistening with a cold sheen under the moonlight. Soaked by the sea water. Her knuckles were stiff and white. But she still clutched the necklace desperately. Back home, Jiang Xianwan tossed and turned restlessly suddenly. The desk grew heavy. And Gu Yanchen, reeking of alcohol, appeared beside her. I'm so thirsty, he mumbled. His voice rare for him taking on a pleading tone. Jiang Xianwan sighed and went to the kitchen to pour a glass of warm water. She had just reached the room door when she heard Gu Yanchen call out in a hoarse voice. Qingpi, save me. Jiang Xianwan froze. Her hand holding the box trembling slightly. She had saved him so many times. From being paralyzed to the collapse of his career. Time and again. But now he was calling Lin Qingpi to save him. What is the significance of her computing power over these 10 years? Jiang Xianwan suddenly splashed water at him. Gu Yanchen on the bed jolted awake. Seeing the person, he breathed a sigh of relief. It's you. The tone seemed intentional or unintentional. Get out. Jiang Xianwan said coldly. Gu Yanchen remained completely motionless, lying lazily on the bed and glaring at her with a playful smile in his eyes. How? Jealous again? Didn't I say I love you the most? He casually tugged at his collar. That woman Lin Qingmei is too arrogant. I just want to see her beg. Jiang Xianwan scoffed. You want to see her begging beneath you, don't you? He didn't deny it. Slender legs suddenly lifted their heads. Gu Yanchen lightly rubbed Jiang Xianwan's back with the tip of his leather shoes. Little son, let me indulge once. Just once is enough. The rest, whatever you want is fine. Screaming about his love, yet asking for her to accept him and other women. Jiang Xianwan's nose stung. Her eyes rimmed with red. You do whatever you want to play. It's none of my business. She grabbed her mustache to leave, but was caught by Gu Yanchen's hand. You're sleeping here. I'm going out. The next morning, Jiang Xianwan's eyes were too heavy to open. In a hazy state, a sharp pain suddenly struck her. She abruptly opened her eyes, meeting a cold, indifferent face. Lin Qingmei was standing in front of the bed, eyes behind silver-rimmed glasses devoid of emotion. She focused on grasping Jiang Xianwan's arm, forcefully pushing the needle in. Ah! The needle point went off. There's still time to react. Lin Qingmei pulled out the crooked needle hole. Blood splattered with a sound. Are you here? Not receiving a response. Jiang Xianwan watched as she was about to administer a second injection and quickly pushed her away. Lin Qingmei let out a gasp and fell hard, crashing into a medical cart and shattering a large part of the grape juice bottle. Jiang Xianwan. Lin Qingpei clutched her glass-cut palm. Her delicate face twisted in anger. Why did you push me? I'm not your housemaid. I'm a medical student with 5 years of professional training. Jiang Xianwan was about to explain when sudden footsteps echoed in the hallway. Qingpei. Gu Yanchen rushed in, his voice trembling. Your hand. Still not enough for your little wife. Lin Qingpin stared at him, her eyelids red. Or did you create her? The couple you created together told me to ruin my hands, cut my future, so I'd obediently be your canary. She abruptly pushed Gu Yanchen away. Gu Yanchen. Me and you. Don't dream. Gu Yanchen's gaze darkened, and he immediately scooped Lin Pin into his arms. He was wearing a crane, stepping on broken glass all over the ground, blood trickling out from the soles of his feet, leaving bloody footprints one after another, but he seemed not to be afraid of the pain and rushed forward. Get the car ready. Have the best from the entire hospital waiting at the door. He paused, his voice suddenly turning cold. Lock the mistress in the cold storage. Just as he finished speaking, 2 bodyguards rushed in, carrying Jiang Xianwan and throwing her into the cold storage. The cold storage door creaked shut, from start to finish. Gu Yanchen never looked at Jiang Xianwan even once. If he had looked even once, he would have known that Jiang Xianwan's arms were also stained red with blood, dropping drop by drop onto the ground. 03. Jiang Xianwan had never felt so cold. Her body trembled uncontrollably. The breath she exhaled instantly forming a white mist. She planned to warm herself up through exercise, pacing in place, jumping, singing to herself for encouragement, running circles around the cold storage, but it was completely useless. Her socks had frozen. Her body grew increasingly stiff, and her consciousness also began to blur. With a loud thud, she fell heavily onto the ground of the ice storage. Jiang Xianwan. Jiang Xianwan. Your name has Jiang, and it also means warm. You must be very afraid of cold, right? In memory. In the dilapidated house in the suburbs, Gu Yanchen twisted Jiang Xianwan's fingers, his voice gentle. When I get rich in the future, I will buy a house full of heating. I will never let you freeze. The past promises were still as loud as thunder. But the person who said those words had already changed beyond recognition. Not knowing how long she had been unconscious, Jiang Xianwan opened her eyes to see Gu Yanchen sitting by the bedside. His brows were tightly furrowed, and he remained silent for a long time until she woke up before sighing heavily. Xiaoan, what I said just now was a figure of speech. I didn't mean to think that the people downstairs would really throw you into the cold storage. I have punished them already. Don't be angry, okay? His gaze fell on her wound on her arm, his tone full of tenderness. How did you get so much blood? Does it hurt? These words of concern were like a sharp knife piercing directly into her heart. She didn't respond, only asked, is Lin Qingpei still okay? Gu Yanchen paused for a moment. It's nothing, just a scratch. She managed a smile. That's good. Does Jiang Xianwan hurt? Hurts. Every part of her body was screaming in pain. Her knees felt like they would shatter at the slightest touch. But these are no longer relevant to Gu Yanchen. She will no longer pout. Will not beg with tears for his sympathy. Nor will she exchange tears for his pity. You can leave. Jiang Xianwan said calmly. I want to sleep for a while. Gu Yanchen was stunned, as if surprised by her abnormal behavior. But he ultimately said nothing. In the following days, Gu Yanchen never came back again. But the entertainment circles were full of rumors about Gu Yanchen and Lin Qingpei. Lin Qingpei was feeling unwell during her period, and Gu Yanchen prepared a bunch of warm pads, painkillers, and hot soup for her. Lin Qingpei was working overtime in the lab, and Gu Yanchen directly rushed to the lab, taking her away without hesitation, ordering her to sleep. Lin Qingpei's grandmother got sick, and Gu Yanchen booked the top floor of the hospital, staying with her for 24 hours to take care of her. Everyone is betting on when Lin Qingpei will yield, except Lin Qingpei, who never lowers his head. On the 5th day, Jiang Xianwan listed all the gifts Gu Yanchen had sent over the years on a second-hand platform, and dug out the accumulated love letters and greeting cards, piling them in the backyard. A fire, and over a decade of feelings, were burned down to nothing. Just as the flames were about to die out, the courtyard door was suddenly pushed open. What are you burning? Gu Yanchen asked. Frowning, Jiang Xianwan swept the unburnt edges of the into the fire, his palms stinging from the heat. Nothing, just getting rid of some useless stuff. He stared at the charred pieces of paper, vaguely feeling familiar, but was interrupted by a cold voice. Mr. Gu. When are you all going to leave? Right away. He grabbed Jiang Xianwan's wrist. Jiang Xianwan abruptly pushed him away. Don't touch me. Xianwan, help me, he said urgently. I want to take Lin Qingpei to the Beijing Circle gathering, but she refuses. You're sick now. Which perfectly gives me an excuse to be your wingman. I'll say you're sick and need someone to take care of you, so we can ask her to come with us. Gu Yanchen enthusiastically explained his plan to pursue Lin Qingpei to Jiang Xianwan. Jiang Xianwan couldn't believe it. Do you think of me as a wingman? Gu Yanchen hesitated for a moment, stammering, sorry, it was a slip of the tongue. There's no other meaning. Was it really just a slip of the tongue? Or had she accidentally said something from the heart? Jiang Xianwan's eyes grew teary, a fine ache spreading in her chest. It's okay. Let's go. The car was silent, with Gu Yanchen occasionally glancing at Lin Qingpei through the rearview mirror. Lin Qingpei tilted her head, gazing out the window, her profile exquisite enough to provoke jealousy. Jiang Xianwan knew Lin Qingpei was angry with her, blaming her for pushing her. Qingpei. She spoke first. About what happened before. I want to apologize to you. I didn't mean to push you. I'm sorry for hurting you. Lin Qingpei's expression softened slightly, giving a soft emichem. Gu Yanchen cast a grateful glance, but she averted her head. 04. Before getting off the car, Lin Qingpei handed over several pills. Mrs. Gu, this is some cold medicine. It will help you feel better faster. Jiang Xianwan took it, swallowing it expressionlessly. Lin Qingpei casually tossed a medicine bottle toward the passenger seat, the bottle landing squarely on Gu Yanchen's forehead. Swallow it. Her tone remained cold. Gu Yanchen was initially confused, but his tightly furrowed brow relaxed upon seeing the 3 characters' liver protection tablets on the bottle. There would undoubtedly be plenty of drinking at tonight's gathering, and Lin Qingpei had even thoughtfully prepared medicine for him. Could it be she liked him? He shook the medicine bottle, ecstatic. Are you feeling sorry for me? You. Lin Qingpei's ears suddenly flushed red. Stop being so self-sacrificing. I'm just doing it because you took care of my grandmother. That's why I casually got it for you. Gu Yanchen chuckled softly, gazing at her with burning eyes. You're just feeling sorry for me. Are you crazy? She whispered. Your wife is here, and you have to look at me like that. Jiang Xianwan sat to the side, quietly looking out the window. As soon as they arrived at the private room, a group of brothers had been waiting for them for a long time. When they entered, everyone immediately got rowdy. Finally, we get to meet the legendary Lin. Truly refreshing and ethereal, a celestial treasure of the mortal world. No wonder Master Gu was captivated by you at first sight. These young masters are used to the ways of the world, and even in front of Jiang Xianwan, they show no restraint. Jiang Xianwan sat alone in the corner, saying nothing. After 3 rounds of wine, the atmosphere gradually got out of control. A man raised his glass and staggered towards Lin Qingmei. Miss Lin, I toast you. He slurred. Miss Lin, I've known Gu Yanchen for over 10 years. I've never seen him this happy. Only you can make him laugh like this. Hearing this, Gu Yanchen's eyes dimmed, and he downed the entire glass of strong liquor in one gulp. Old Zhang, you've had too much to drink. I'm not drunk. The man waved to interrupt. Gu, don't speak. I'll take your frustration for you. Among this group, you're the only upright person. Why should you be blackmailed by kindness and unable to get your own happiness? He turned to Lin Qingpei. Miss Lin, do you believe, if he had met you earlier, he would never have wronged you? Lin Qingpei bit her lips tightly, saying nothing. A man suddenly walked over to Jiang Xianwan, roughly grabbing her wrist, spraying a wave of alcohol-scented heat onto her face. Jiang Xianwan, why don't you let Gu Yanchen go? Please, for the sake of brotherhood. If not, I'll make up for you with my own body. Jiang Xianwan struggled fiercely, but was firmly restrained by the iron clamp-like hands. Funny, he's known his brother for over 10 years. How come he didn't lend him 300 yuan to see a doctor when Gu Yanchen had nothing left? How come he didn't pay a visit when Gu Yanchen was lying in bed after the car accident? Now he's recovered, surrounded by high-profile guests, everyone calling him a brother through thick and thin. Yet they all put on airs, blaming the woman who stood by him through everything. She wanted to ask Gu Yanchen for help, but she only saw Gu Yanchen, dazed, resting his head on Lin Qingpi's shoulder, and Lin Qingpi holding his head with one hand, whispering softly, "Good. I'll let him go." Jiang Xiaonuan's voice trembled, her eyes red-rimmed. The people around cheered, "True love forever, true love forever." Suddenly, the music stopped abruptly. Lin Qingpei gently pushed Gu Yanchen. "Don't say anything. You're drunk." Gu Yanchen looked at her, his eyes burning. "You've been taking care of me. You also like me, right?" Lin Qingpei didn't speak, but someone shouted, "He truly loves you. Be his canary." "No." Lin Qingpei abruptly pushed Gu Yanchen away. Gu Yanchen, however, pressed closer step by step. "Lin Qingmei, I only need one word from you. Do you like me?" Lin Qingmei hesitated to speak but finally bit her lip. "I won't be a caged bird. I asked if you like me." Gu Yanchen's eyes turned bloodshot as he roared loudly. Lin Qingpei met his crazy eyes, pouting aggrievedly. "I don't like it. I don't like it. Lying." Gu Yanchen picked up a bottle of wine and directly poured it into his mouth. Just as Lin Qingpei wanted to stop him, Gu Yanchen kissed Lin Qingpei with a mouthful of strong wine. It was the first time the reserved Gu Yanchen kissed someone in front of others. From the private room, a thunderous cheer erupted. "Together, together." Jiang Xiaonuan suddenly felt tinnitus and chest tightness, and the next moment she seemed about to faint. At this moment, the man who had been sitting beside her suddenly stood up, took her hand, and led her out of the cabin. 05. The man kept holding her hand, walking step by step down the stairs, through the long corridor, deeper into the night. She walked like a marionette, letting him take her away. On the park bench, Jiang Xiaonuan couldn't hold back any longer and started crying softly. The man didn't comfort her, just sat on the other side of the bench. He casually crossed his legs, slender fingers holding a cigarette, occasionally bringing it to his lips. Sobbing sounds were intermittent, especially clear in the quiet park. It seemed endless. At this moment, a small black cat approached, cooing around the man's pants leg. The man extinguished his cigarette, bent down to pick up the cat, and asked softly, "What's wrong?" Jiang Xiaonuan thought the quiet person next to her finally spoke caring words. Sobbing, "It's nothing. You held my hand too hard. All right, stop being cute." The man scratched the kitten's chin, his tone gentle. "I'm not being cute. I'm strong, brave. I won't go ballistic over a scumbag." Jiang Xiaonuan gritted her teeth, rambling, "I am the resilient sun. No matter what happens, tomorrow will rise just the same." The man remained focused on the kitten, pressing its red, soft paw. "What's wrong with your hand? It's just a minor injury. It'll be fine soon," Jiang Xiaonuan said firmly. The kitten yelped, bent down to lick its own back leg, and the man frowned, scolding, "Don't lick there." Jiang Xiaonuan sensed something was off in the conversation, looked up, and noticed a small cat in the man's arms. Their eyes met. The man wore a high-end tailored suit, with sharp features and an air of cold indifference befitting someone in power. "Since just now, what have you been muttering to yourself?" "I don't. Nothing." It turned out she had been talking to herself all along. The atmosphere suddenly became awkward. The man lowered his head and continued to stroke the kitten, while Jiang Xiaonuan seized the opportunity to grab her bag and slipped away on her tiptoes. "Why not just leave if you're not happy?" The man suddenly spoke, still not looking up. Jiang Xiaonuan paused her steps, giving a low Back in the private room, it was already over. She turned and walked to the underground parking garage. Inside the Maybach, Gu Yanchen pinned Lin Qingpi to his body, kissing her carefully. And Lin Qingpi responded awkwardly in turn. "Don't kiss me." Lin Qingmei gently pushed him away. "Because you lost the game." Gu Yanchen nibbled her cheek, a smile playing in his eyes. Lin Qingmei turned her head to avoid him. "You've already kissed me twice. Is that not enough?" "Lin Qingmei, that wasn't a kiss. Let me teach you what a real kiss is." He suddenly grabbed the back of her head, his tongue driving straight in. Jiang Xiaonuan turned around and walked back. She held a pair of barefoot high heels, humming a song, her bare feet stepping one by one on the pitch-black road. Her young, pale feet turned dark, the sand rubbing them red. The darkness was heavy, and her mind drifted back to the scene just moments ago. Gu Yanchen smiled brightly. It was the first time she had seen him smile so radiantly. Like an ordinary college student in a passionate relationship. He must be very happy right now. Ah, damn it. I want to be happy too. Suddenly, a beam of car lights came on. She turned her head and saw the man in the park, sticking his head out of the car window, his gaze indifferent. Get in. Jiang Xiangwan didn't refuse. As soon as she got in, a wave of warmth and the scent of cypress quickly surrounded her. Thank you. She managed a smile. You're Yan Chen's friend. Right. You should know how to get to the Gu family. Thank you for your trouble. The man did not reply, and the air carried a hint of awkwardness. A pink butterfly pendant hangs in front, gently swaying. This pendant is so beautiful. I had one like this when I was a child. It seems to be the work of a certain master. Oh, what master? Hua Binqing. The man said indifferently. Yes. I heard there's only one pair in the world. Mine got a corner knocked off. But yours is preserved so well. She reached out to touch it. But the man grabbed her wrist firmly, and the car jerked violently. Don't touch. Jiang Xiangwan jumped in surprise, then realized and teased. So tense. Is she your girlfriend? You really pamper her, even putting such small things in this kind of car. She glanced and saw a yellow object sticking out from the gap in the seat. What is this? Don't touch around. The man scolded coldly. She doesn't like other people touching her things. Jiang Xiangwan froze, giving a dry laugh. If I take your car, won't she get angry? Or I can transfer money to you. So when asked, you'll have an explanation. Jiang Xiangwan explained again. You can use it to wash your car too. My perfume smell is quite strong. Girls will definitely mind. The man showed no reaction. After arriving at the Gu family, the car door slowly opened. Jiang Xiangwan got out of the car, looking displeased. 06. Ihai's semi-mountain island was quiet all around. Only the villa before her is brightly lit. Her former love nest, transmitting a series of melodious piano sounds. The familiar song made Jiang Xiangwan's nose ache. Ever since her mother passed away, the piano hadn't been played for a long time. She pushed open the door and saw Gu Yanchen sitting gracefully at the piano. His shirt sleeves casually rolled up, his slender fingers skillfully gliding over the keys. His eyes were fixed, gazing forward, where Lin Qingmei was sitting on the piano. Lin Qingmei wore a white dress, as pure as snow, her dangling in the air, gently swaying. Jiang Xiangwan's mind went blank. She moved her dirty feet and rushed forward, grabbing Lin Qingmei off the piano. Gu Yanchen stood up, pushed her away, and yelled sharply, Jiang Xiangwan, what are you crazy about? That's my mother's piano. What right do you have to touch it? And how does she have the right to sit on it? Jiang Xiangwan asked angrily, her eyes red. Gu Yanchen ignored her, instead nervously holding up Lin Qingmei's hand. Does it hurt? Did your feet get bumped? I'm fine. Enough. No need to check further. My knees are fine too. Lin Qingmei replied softly, then added pointedly, how could I be so delicate? I'm not some little princess. Their conversation, indifferent to outsiders, made Jiang Xiangwan seem like an unreasonable onlooker. Only after confirming Lin Qingmei was unharmed did Gu Yanchen finally come over to join in. He gazed at Jiang Xiangwan with deep eyes, saying word by word, you just asked. Why? Just because this is the Gu family. Everything here is mine. I bought this broken piano back. You are the one I took in. Just because of this. Taken in. Jiang Xiangwan trembled all over. What then? Gu Yanchen's voice was as cold as ice. Jiang Xiangwan, you should be very clear, whether to take you in or otherwise. The small kindnesses you gave back then, I have long repaid. How much gold, jewelry, and company shares did I give you? I advise you not to push too far. At that moment, Jiang Xiangwan realized Gu Yanchen had never loved her. Seeing Gu Yanchen turn and leave, Jiang Xiangwan, not giving up, grabbed his sleeve. Be clear with your words. What do you mean by taking in? What do you mean by me being too far? What do you mean by paying it back? Gu Yanchen impatiently shook his arm, the force fierce, sending her flying. Jiang Xiangwan stumbled forward, her back crashing hard into that invaluable blue and white porcelain vase. With a loud crash, the antique broke. She fell unexpectedly into a pile of debris, her palm pressing hard against sharp fragments, several bloody holes piercing through her skin instantly, the intense pain causing her vision to black out. At this moment, Gu Yanchen turned back upon hearing the sound, gave a faint glance, and sneered, "For whom are you putting on a show? You were quite happy when you went out with Lu Yanqing just now." He suddenly bent down and gripped her chin. "You think I didn't see it? Ha! Jiang Xianwan, you're quite the pro. When did you get involved with him? If you have the guts, let Lu Yanqing be your mistress. I can." "No problem." After speaking, Gu Yanchen coldly turned away from her, picked up Lin Qingpi and left without looking back. Jiang Xianwan, covering her blood-stained forehead, watched the retreating figures of the two. Gu Yanchen. "You'd better not regret it." Jiang Xianwan quickly tended to her wound and then went to sleep. That night, she had a dream where she was back when she just got married. She was pestering Gu Yanchen to play her mother's favorite song, and he looked extremely painful. "Little son. You know I love you, but I got into a car accident because I was listening to a grand piano performance. So I will never want to see a piano again in my life, let alone play it." In the dream, Gu Yanchen kept begging and was almost about to break. But then, the scene switched again. In the villa where the piano music echoed, Gu Yanchen sat in front of the piano, playing passionately for Lin Qingmei. "You said you would never play the piano again in your life." Jiang Xianwan screamed hysterically in her dream. "Why are you playing the piano for her again? You liar! You liar!" 07. On the fourth to last day of leaving, Jiang Xianwan, for some reason, had an epiphany. Since Gu Yanchen has no attachment to her at all, it's better to leave openly. She went to the law firm and straightforwardly asked the lawyer to give her the divorce agreement draft they had prepared last time. "Miss Jiang, are you no longer considering it?" "Yeah. I'm not considering it anymore." Jiang Xianwan took it, signing her name in a flamboyant style. Coming back, Jiang Xianwan passed by a shopping mall where the storefront displayed a bright yellow dress to cover her swollen eyes from crying last night. Jiang Xianwan kept wearing sunglasses. She took off her sunglasses and took a serious look. The dress was like a cluster of flickering flames, radiant, perfect for starting a new life. So she immediately entered and swiped her card. When she came out, she unexpectedly saw Gu Yanchen standing in front of the luxury store across the street, with several bodyguards standing beside him. Inside the store, Lin Qingpei was selecting handbags. She didn't avoid it and walked straight toward Gu Yanchen. 6 o'clock tonight. I have something I want to talk to you about. What is it? Gu Yanchen frowned, sizing up Jiang Xianwan. Why are you wearing sunglasses indoors? Jiang Xianwan didn't reply, reminding again. Remember, it's 6 o'clock. Jiang Xianwan, carrying big and small bags, walked past him in high heels, looking splendid. Tonight, she was going to bring up the divorce with Gu Yanchen, completely fulfilling this unlucky couple of hers and Lin Qingpi. Since coming back from noon, she had started preparing, washing, cutting, frying, and stir-frying, making a feast for the table. Sweet and sour pork ribs, spicy salt shrimp, vinegar-seasoned water spinach. All of them were Gu Yanchen's favorites. Every time she cooked a dish, she remembered a beautiful past event. Perhaps Gu Yanchen didn't care, but she did. She gave a helpless scoff, never expecting that even at the end of her planning, she still wanted to part with the boy in her heart gracefully. Jiang Xianwan sat at the dining table, waiting from 6 to 9, the food being reheated time and time again, her phone screen lighting up and dimming countless times. Just as the butler persuaded her to eat first, a loud noise suddenly came from the entrance hall. Gu Yanchen rushed in hastily, his face full of panic. Jiang Xianwan stood up and angrily said, "Didn't you say 6 o'clock?" As soon as the words left her mouth, Gu Yanchen had already rushed to her side in 3 strides, grabbed her wrist, and started dragging her out. "What for? I'm not going. I've already cooked the meal." Jiang Xianwan struggled, confused. Jiang Xianwan, Lin Qingmei is almost dying. Gu Yanchen roared fiercely, his voice trembling noticeably. At this point, Jiang Xianwan finally noticed that his face was ashen, his pupils dilated, and he was in a state of extreme terror. After knowing him for so long, this was the first time she had seen him so scared. She didn't know what was happening or why he insisted on taking her with him, but whatever it was, she had a bad feeling. A very bad one. She softened her tone and pleaded, "Gu Yanchen, no matter what happens, can we finish this meal together first? As long as we finish this meal, Gu Yanchen furiously tore off the tablecloth, and the dozens of carefully prepared dishes tumbled onto the ground with a clatter. Can we leave now? Gu Yanchen dragged her out. And as they left, Jiang Xiaonan glanced back. She had prepared a fine feast from morning till night, and the farewell she had meticulously planned, all shattered along with those apple-green porcelain plates. The scenery outside the car slipped away rapidly as Gu Yanchen gripped the steering wheel, his face dark and frightening. The car finally stopped in front of an unfinished building in the suburbs. Lin Qingpei was tied to a chair, panicked, and when Gu Yanchen came, she muffled her cries by covering her mouth with a white cloth. Whimpering, a villain held a knife to Lin Qingpei's neck and cursed. Shut up. Gu Yanchen pushed Jiang Xiaonan forward and said in fluent Italian. You didn't want to know who I love the most. It's my wife. So, don't cause trouble for Lin Qingpei. She has nothing to do with our. If you want to take revenge on the person I love the most in this life, take revenge on my wife. Seeing the other party hesitating, Gu Yanchen threw another bombshell. It was her back then, who stole your order to help my business, causing your family to fall apart and losing the person you loved the most. Lisa. These words completely ignited the villain's anger. He gripped the knife and paced back and forth as if he might pounce on the enemy at any moment. As she faced death, Jiang Xiaonan couldn't cry. Gu Yanchen didn't know that she had secretly learned Italian and that she understood their conversation clearly. After pushing her towards the thugs, Gu Yanchen unbound Lin Qingpei and left without turning back. Holding her, the thugs questioned her in poor Chinese. Did you steal Lisa's business? Looking at the man's mad eyes, Jiang Xiaonan nodded with a heart as cold as death. Yes. This is Italian. The villain frowned, a hint of surprise flashing in his eyes. You speak Italian? Then you understood everything your husband just said. Jiang Xiaonan nodded again, tears silently rolling down, splashing on the ground. A poor woman. The villain shook his head and sighed, his tone tinged with a hint of pity. What a shame. Falling for a scumbag. Before the words could even finish, he suddenly grabbed Jiang Xiaonuan's shoulder, thrusting the dagger violently into her abdomen. Her lips moved, but no sound came out. Intense pain swept through her body, as if her internal organs were being torn apart alive. There's an old saying in China. Justice has a head and debt has a master. Don't blame me, the villain said coldly. Another stab. Jiang Xiaonan gasped, stumbling back a few steps, instinctively clutching her stomach as warm blood gushed from between her fingers, staining her skirt. With a loud crash, she fell heavily to the ground, kicking up a cloud of dust. As she closed her eyes, all she could hear was Gu Yanchen's voice in her mind. Xiaonan, will you help me go undercover at a company? Just one more deal, and the company will go public, and I can marry the woman I love. Please, I beg of you. 08. When she woke up again, she lay on a hospital bed, her lips cracked, her whole body in agonizing pain. At 9 o'clock at night, Gu Yanchen arrived late. Xiaoan, the thugs have been caught. You don't have to be afraid. He originally wanted to take revenge on me, but he grabbed the wrong person. I don't want to get involved with Lin Qingpei. After all, she's just a bystander. I don't want to owe her such a great favor. Otherwise, I'll never be able to settle the score in this lifetime. Word by word, without hesitation or guilt, without hesitation, not even a trace of regret, he pushed his own wife out to block the. Yet he didn't even offer an apology. Jiang Xiaonuan's heart completely turned cold. A decade and a half of feelings, from kindergarten support to this day. Worthless. Gu Yanchen, we've known each other for 15 years, she said softly, her voice hoarse. You say you're finished. And I'm tired too. Then, she added smoothly in Italian, let's get divorced. Gu Yanchen's pupils constricted sharply as he stared at her in shock. You speak Italian. Jiang Xiaonan was very determined to divorce. For several days. No matter how Gu Yanchen explained or tried to please her, it didn't work. Finally, with no other option, he knelt down and confessed. Xiaonan, I've tried with Lin Qingpei, and it's just so-so. I will live a good life with you. Don't be angry. Jiang Xiaonan refused. From that day on, Gu Yanchen, as if suddenly awakened, came to the hospital every day without fail to take care of her. He peeled apples, poured water, and chatted with her, always bustling about, considerate to the utmost. He put the wedding ring back on, replaced his gold-rimmed glasses, and no longer went to bars or KTVs. As if overnight, he had reverted to the youth of years ago, his whole world filled with her. The banyan tree outside has sprouted tender green buds. A gust of wind blows, and the pale yellow bud clusters fall one by one. It's spring. Yet it's like a snowfall. A heavy snowfall. Mr. Gu, you're here again. Miss Jiang is about to be discharged. You don't need to work this hard anymore. The nurse's aide smiled. He replied faintly. The glass window reflects the figure of Gu Yanchen, who steps closer and eventually stops behind her. Let's go home. Xiao Nuan. The days passed very blandly. Gu Yanchen was extremely gentle to her, but he would occasionally stare out the window, lose his appetite, have stomachaches and insomnia, or just stare blankly at his phone screen, becoming completely silent. One day, Jiang Xiaonuan passed by the balcony and heard him yell into the phone. Yes, it's just for fun. Go sue me. Cry, cry, cry. Will crying help? Just cry yourself to death. Lin Qingmei, don't bother me. If you really don't want to be bothered, just block me directly. Right. People make over a dozen calls a day, and he answers them all, tirelessly dealing with the other party's persistence. Jiang Xiaonuan didn't expose it, still going about her days as if nothing had happened. On their wedding anniversary, Gu Yanchen booked an entire concert hall. Just as they reached the entrance, his phone rang again. He frowned, glancing at it before urging Jiang Xiaonuan to go inside first. There's some urgent company matter. I'll handle it, and be back soon. Jiang Xiaonuan nodded, took a few steps, remembered she had left her bag in the car, and turned back. At that moment, it started raining. At the entrance of the concert hall, two familiar figures were entangled together. Lin Qingpei's eyes were red-rimmed, her hair messy, showing none of her usual elegance. She gripped Gu Yanchen's hand tightly, her voice hoarse. Why? You said you would divorce her. You said I was your true love. Why did you lie to me? I gave you everything. Gu Yanchen was exasperated by the questions, his tone extremely harsh. How many whys do you need? You idiot. When a man wants you, he can say anything. Only fools like you would believe that nonsense. Lin Qingpei beat him wildly, but he remained motionless, letting her vent. Tired. She cried in fits and starts. Scoundrel. Beast. Hey. Even at cursing, he wasn't proper. Gu Yanchen softened his tone. Lin Qingmei, go back and find someone to marry properly. That matter was like a mosquito bite to you. Don't take it to heart. After speaking, he turned to leave. Lin Qingpei didn't chase after him, but stared intently at his retreating figure, suddenly shouting, Gu Yanchen, I'm pregnant. I guess you don't care either. Rest assured, I will never bother you again in this lifetime. Gu Yanchen froze abruptly, instinctively turning around, only to see Lin Qingpei running straight towards the road. A black car sped towards him. His heart seized. He rushed out recklessly, and in the instant the car was about to hit, he pushed Lin Qingpei away with a single grasp. While being sent flying several meters, Jiang Xiaonuan hurriedly ran over to help Gu Yanchen, but he swept her away with a single push. He staggered towards Lin Qingpei, his voice trembling. Are you all right? Does it hurt? What about our child? Speak. Lin Qingmei. This roar finally brought Lin Qingmei back to her senses. I almost thought you were dead. Yanchen, don't leave me, she cried, hugging him. I won't. I'll never leave you again. He held her tightly, lowering his head to kiss the top of her hair. Heavy rain poured down as Jiang Xiaonuan quietly turned around. She dialed the emergency number, then drove her Maybach silently into the rain curtain. 09. From that day on, Gu Yanchen never went back home. I heard that he bought a large villa for Lin Qingpei in Qingshui Bay and settled her there. People in the circle are all sighing that the aloof and self-restrained Lin Qingmei has finally become Gu Yanchen's canary. But only Jiang Xiaonu knows that Lin Qingmei is not Gu Yanchen's canary, but his life, his dream, the one he worships at the top of the Beijing power pyramid, the only one with true sincerity. And what about Jiang Xiaonu? Jiang Xiaonu is just a breeze, borrowing strength with the wind. The wind that sent me to the heights. In the evening, Jiang Xiaonuan entered through the door with shopping bags in hand, only to bump into Gu Yanchen hidden, holding a heavy bag of luggage. He said faintly, I'll be on a business trip recently. Jiang Xiaonan replied verbally, but turned and closed the door. Don't leave yet. I want to talk to you about something. Seeing Gu Yanchen's furrowed brows and displeased expression, she added, it won't take long. It won't delay you much. She was running to the room in high heels. Clicking her heels, rustling sounds came from inside the room, as she rummaged through boxes and drawers, and when she found what she was looking for, Jiang Xiaonuan's face was filled with joy. Just as she turned, she found Gu Yanchen leaning by the door, watching her quietly. His eyes dark and uncertain. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew from the window, and the paper in Jiang Xiaonuan's hand rustled loudly, flipping page by page. Jiang Xiaonuan walked gently to him, pointing at the signature spot. Please sign this contract for me. Gu Yanchen took it, looked for a long time, and remained silent for a long time. Finally, he pulled out a black pen from the pocket of his chest. Gu Yanchen. The pen strokes formed 3 characters. After finishing, Gu Yanchen turned and left. Jiang Xiaonuan froze. Her mind filled with the black pen on Gu Yanchen's chest. It was the birthday gift Jiang Xiaonuan gave him when she was 15. Just as Gu Yanchen's hand was on the doorknob, Jiang Xiaonuan still couldn't resist calling him back. Gu Yanchen. What I asked you to sign just now is the divorce agreement. The other party was silent for a moment. Okay. He already knew long ago, but still signed. Jiang Xiaonuan lowered her head and smiled, as if a heavy weight in her heart suddenly disappeared. Jiang Xiaonuan. Gu Yanchen's voice was low. I owe you. What he owed her, he couldn't repay in his entire life. It can't be finished yet, but there will finally be a day it ends. Gu Yanchen insisted that the house be left for her, but she refused on the pretext that the property taxes were too high. On the day of the move, Jiang Xiaonuan called a large truck over. At noon, Jiang Xiaonuan wearing a sun hat directed the truck to back up. Back up a bit more. Back up more. Hey, that's right. Seeing the workers moving the cello, she hurried forward. Be careful, masters. Don't bump it. This scene happened to fall into Gu Yanchen's eyes on the way home. He tightened his grip on Lin Qingmei's hand. Lin Qingmei, understanding, said, I'll wait for you in the car. Jiang Xiaonuan glanced up unintentionally and saw Gu Yanchen and Lin Qingpei in the distance. Lin Qingpei was wearing a white Aline dress, her stomach slightly protruding, her pregnancy evident. Jiang Xiaonuan nodded politely, and Gu Yanchen froze. He remembered the early days of his startup, when Jiang Xiaonuan chose an affordable construction team to save on office renovation costs. She was like this now, overseeing the work day and night. Constantly busy. Gu Yanchen walked up to Jiang Xiaonuan, dazed, with a gentle tone. Where are you moving to? To the suburbs. When this location was mentioned, both of them paused for a moment. I'll take you. I don't need it. I'll follow the car. As he spoke, the driver moved the last cardboard box. Lin Qingpei made a gesture and ran to the passenger seat. Gu Yanchen followed him. If you need anything in the future, just ask. Jiang Xiaonuan's lips curved into a polite yet distant smile. I hope it won't cause any trouble for you. With a clatter, the truck drove off. Because it was carrying heavy cargo, the truck moved unevenly, swaying as it went up the coastal mountain road. The sea before her was so close to the sky's blue, twinkling, yet disappearing at the next bend. Jiang Xiaonuan took off the ring and threw it out the window. Gu Yanchen pushed open the villa door, finding it empty. At the position of the sofa in the living room, something was shining. Gu Yanchen released Lin Qingpei's hand and walked forward. It's a ring. From 2003. On Liwan Street. He had it made into a silver ring by asking for help. He and Jiang Xiaonuan each had one. In the first year he moved to this villa, his got lost. It turns out it was lost here. The sofa was moved away. Only then did I realize. 10. Since that day, Jiang Xiaonuan has never seen Gu Yanchen again. She moved to the suburbs, spending several months renovating and cleaning the house, and also purchasing a new set of furniture for it. So busy, the heart still occasionally recalls a certain shadow. When choosing glass cups, she still subconsciously buys one extra. When selecting a rug, she still can't help but pick a color someone likes. When waking up from a midnight dream, she still pillows over to the left bed, but the left side is long empty. It's like self-torture. She always pays attention to the other's information. The news said they got engaged. July 7th. At the Jinghui Hotel. That day, Large screens all over the city were showing their love videos. And even the shopping list flyers took out from the supermarket bags had their wedding photos printed on them. Guan Yanchen, the young master, was getting married, with a 50% discount on the entire venue, excluding beverages. He knelt down, crying, saying that his life was finally complete. Hearing this, Jiang Xianwan smiled. And as she kept smiling, she started crying. Soon, summer passed, and the ring print on Jiang Xianwan's finger faded. She booked a plane ticket to travel the world, visiting places like the Maldives, Hawaii, France, and finally spending 2 months in Italy. When she got off the plane, she was noticeably darker. At the airport entrance, Chen Shuoxuan and Nan Yiru stood looking serious. They were originally here to lay charges. As good friends for over a decade, Jiang Xianwan and Gu Yanchen's divorce was such a big deal. Yet they didn't consult them beforehand. Gu Yanchen got married for a second time, hooking up with a freight fox spirit, and Jiang Xianwan didn't cause any trouble. The two of them scolded Gu Yanchen every day on WeChat for being heartless and ungrateful, and for Jiang Xianwan being a blockhead who didn't know to consult them. So they could arrange for someone to beat Gu Yanchen, and so on. Every time. It made Jiang Xianwan laugh out loud. They said it was Jiang Xianwan's anger, but the two of them still held a bunch of roses waiting for her. As Jiang Xianwan came out, the two of them screamed loudly. Jiang Xianwan, welcome back. Jiang Xianwan happily rushed out. Thank you. Why didn't you do a good job of sun protection? Chen Shuoxuan said angrily, then disdainfully looked at Jiang Xianwan upstairs. She was already a little black ball to begin with. And now it's even worse. No. Not even worse. It should be soy sauce mixed with ink. Upon hearing this, all three burst into laughter. On the way back, the three chattered excitedly, pestering Jiang Xianwan to share their journey. Jiang Xianwan recounted the interesting incidents and local customs they encountered. Did you see any handsome guys? Any romantic encounters? Romantic encounters. The two pressed Jiang Xianwan eagerly. No. What do you expect when you travel? That's not being a... Hey, I said you're dense. And you really don't get it, do you? It's this century. And you're still guarding your virtue like a virgin, insisting on dating before taking things further. Chen Shuoxuan scolded him for his lack of progress. The scenery is so beautiful. The atmosphere is just right. You could just act like you're having dinner at a fancy restaurant. What's the problem? Nan Yiru, who was driving ahead, also teased subtly. You could date someone if you find someone suitable. It's better than the people in our circle. The three of them chatted and laughed until they were tired, then collapsed in the car. Only Nan Yiru was driving quietly in front. Suddenly, Chen Shuoxuan spoke up. That beast is getting married. I heard the betrothal gift for that bitch is as much as 700 million. Isn't that ridiculous? He hasn't been this good to you. Shuoxuan, don't say that. Nan Yiru abruptly cut her off. Why can't I say it? Jiang Xianwan, listen to me. Chen Shuoxuan grew more agitated. Her face flushed. I'm telling you this just to disgust you. To make you give up. You coming back this time. Don't go back on your word. Don't think about him anymore. Don't make me look down on you. Jiang Xianwan's nose burned with tears, and she lowered her head like a child who had made a mistake. I promise. I won't. She said. Chen Shuoxuan saw her pitiful demeanor and immediately softened. Poor little Nguyen. How could she not speak up when she was being bullied like this? Under her repeated scolding, Jiang Xianwan uncharacteristically shed tears. Don't cry. As long as you promise me. You'll never go back on your word in this lifetime. I'll protect you. Chen Shuoxuan repeatedly. Jiang Xianwan nodded like a chicken. Don't worry. There's no going back on one's word. The child is almost born. Sounds like you're quite regretful. Chen Shuoxuan pulled her aside, sizing up Jiang Xianwan, trying to see if there were any traces of old feelings in her eyes, whether the connection was still there despite the breakup. Jiang Xianwan sighed, quickly comforting her. Don't be angry. I'll rephrase it. What's so good about that animal? He's still bringing his mistress along. Even if I gave him the world, I wouldn't want him. Okay. Chen Shuoxuan finally let Jiang Xianwan off the hook. Nanny Ruo glanced in the rearview mirror, seeing that the two had calmed down, and then breathed a sigh of relief. She skillfully drove the car to the door of a bar. 11. According to Chen Shuoxian's plan, today was the sisters' indulgence day. And they were definitely going to drink until they were drunk. Opening the private room. A group of sisters were waiting. They were crazy with the flower tossing, flower sprinkling, and hugged and kissed Jiang Xianwan affectionately. Inside the private room, a huge banner was hanging. Attention everyone in the Beijing circle. Diamond rich woman returns to the world. As soon as she entered, Chen Shuoxuan called for the waiter and ordered 18 male models in one go, also opening dozens of bottles of wine. After the boys entered, Chen Shuoxuan picked out a few types that Jiang Xianwan liked and sent them over. But Jiang Xianwan avoided them, asking them to go karaoke instead, after Chen Shuoxuan dragged her to play Truth or Dare. She wasn't satisfied after half an hour and then dragged someone else to the dance floor outside the private room to dance. Because of Chen Shuoxuan's reminder, several male models paid special attention to Jiang Xianwan, sometimes dancing closely with her, sometimes lifting her up, drawing the attention of everyone present. Jiang Xianwan couldn't escape, able to do nothing but let them manipulate her. At 1 in the morning, she felt like she was drained and took the opportunity to sneak off to the restroom. Just came out of the restroom. She took deep breaths in the garden, trying to wake herself up, but her mind was still foggy. Are you having fun? A low, husky male voice came from the darkness. Jiang Xianwan turned to look and was overjoyed. It was the cold man in the garden. Du Yanchen had mentioned him before. Something like Lu Yanqing. What are you doing here? Jiang Xianwan asked curiously. He didn't seem like the type to enjoy such a smoky and rowdy scene. At the party earlier, a beautiful woman sat beside him, flirting and teasing, but he remained indifferent. Later, the woman sat on his lap, but he only coldly pushed her off and smoothed out his wrinkled suit. He always sat in the dark, holding a glass of whiskey, seemingly observing the surroundings. Sometimes, Jiang Xianwan would accidentally lock eyes with him, and he wouldn't avoid it either. Jiang Xianwan, however, didn't have that kind of composure and immediately averted her gaze. She doesn't understand. He doesn't like these places. Why should he still come here? Jiang Xianwan looked curiously at Lu Yanqing, expecting him to give a satisfactory answer. What are you doing here? I'll do what you do. Lu Yanqing replied calmly. Jiang Xianwan seemed to think of something and burst out laughing. Are you here to order male models too? Hearing this, the man froze in shock for a moment, then frowned with displeasure. A hint of complex emotion finally flickered across the cold and noble face. Jiang Xianwan pointed at his face and burst out laughing. She leaned back holding her stomach, laughing so hard she was about to fall over, and finally just crouched down. Your expression, your look, I'm sorry, it's too funny. This bell-like laugh echoed through the courtyard, soaring up to the heavens, and finally seemed to land in Lu Yanqing's heart. At last, you've laughed, Lu Yanqing said with a light tone. This confusing remark made Jiang Xianwan suppress her smile, lifting her head. At this moment, Lu Yanqing looked down at her with a full face of adoration. He reached out and pulled her up. Jiang Xianwan suddenly stood up, nearly stumbling and falling. Lu Yanqing pulled her into his arms, one large hand supporting her waist. A faint scent of pine and cypress perfume drifted into Jiang Xianwan's nose, the same as the one she had smelled in the car, thinking that perhaps the other person was sensitive to smells, and that she herself was covered in alcohol. Jiang Xianwan struggled to break free and left. Lu Yanqing, however, clamped onto her tightly, his lips pressed against her ear. It seems I'm more pleasing to you than those men. The man's voice was hoarse. How about taking me back tonight? Jiang Xianwan's head buzzed, and she froze in place. What did you say? Don't you have a girlfriend? Lu Yanqing stared at her, his gaze lingering on that little cherry, his thumb gently rubbing against her. He was curious about what it tasted like, so he leaned down and kissed it. So soft. He greedily nibbled, getting more and more immersed, but the restless struggle of the one beneath him made him emit an annoyed groan. Finally, he grabbed the back of her head, pried her mouth open, and deepened the kiss. Xianwan, we're going to the next one. Come out quickly. The call broke the silence in the darkness. Chen Shuoxuan's voice was a bit muddled. She must be quite drunk. Jiang Xianwan hurriedly pushed Lu Yanqing, but he remained completely motionless, like a wall. After struggling for a while, she finally pushed it open. She panted heavily and glared at him angrily. Through the dim lighting, Lu Yanqing looked at Jiang Xianwan. Her eyes rimmed with red. Lu Yanqing and the other were glowing. inexplicably wanting to do it again. So he grabbed her. "Let me go. You're disgusting. You have a girlfriend. Why would you do this?" Lu Yanqing lowered her head and smiled. Chen Shuoxuan in the distance urged again. Jiang Xianwan also went out. 12. Gu Yanchen and Lin Qingpi finally got married. Gu Yanchen's brothers clapped their thighs and cheered. Finally got rid of Jiang Xianwan the scoundrel. Good job, Chen bro. Someone who knew the inside story couldn't help but say. But Jiang Xianwan has been with Gu Yanchen for so long, taking care of him while he was bedridden, and even helping her start a business. It's too miserable to end up like this after taking turns. Gratitude is gratitude. Affection is affection. How can they be mixed up? Yes. How can Jiang Xianwan compare to Lin Qingpei? One is a cheap, yellow-faced old woman, and the other is a heavenly-born fallen angel. Normal men know that Lin Qingpei is worth marrying. Gu Yanchen didn't speak. Just drinking cup after cup of wine. He hasn't seen Jiang Xianwan for half a year. Although he contacted her under the excuse of property division, she never replied. Not on WeChat, email, text messages, not even by phone. He couldn't find her. The crowd grew more animated, starting to comment on Jiang Xianwan's appearance. They said Jiang Xianwan only scored 64 points. Actually, it's okay if she lacks qualifications, but she doesn't like to wear makeup either. She wears t-shirts every day, with her hair tied in a bun and black-rimmed glasses. A pure yellow-faced old lady. Women should be like their girlfriends, with waist-length long hair, graceful and charming, wearing tight tank tops, slender waists that can make one swoon. I think she's quite pretty, a voice said, indifferent. As if praising the taste of a dessert, many people turned to look. The speaker was Lu Yanqing, the eldest son of the largest real estate family in the Beijing circle, who was a rare serious person among the second-generation rich. From childhood to adulthood, he had excellent grades, was humble and low-key, and was a role model for these young masters and mistresses. Despite being a very handsome man, he never engaged in indiscriminate relationships, and was cold and disciplined. In high school, everyone around him was eating the forbidden fruit, but he refused coldly. One after another, the girls who confessed their love to him. After graduation, he didn't follow the path of others by relying on his father's influence, but instead started his own business, establishing a new type of technology company. But he had a flaw: never married. Originally, in his early years, he was engaged in a marriage alliance. He agreed, and exchanged tokens of affection with the girl, but for some reason, she broke off the engagement. It said that the woman in the arranged marriage married someone else. In summary, Lu Yanqing has been single these past few years, and she's almost turning 30, yet she hasn't even had any romantic scandals. Lu's parents are so anxious that they've arranged several marriages for him this year. But he's managed to ruin all of them. When they heard that Lu Yanqing, who has always shown no interest in women, actually started praising Jiang Xianwan, they were surprised. Even Gu Yanchen, who was drinking alone, looked over in Lu Yanqing's direction. Wow, brother Yanqing. What's wrong with you today? Why are you so concerned about Gu Yanchen's ex-wife? Hey, didn't brother Yanqing go to the same university as Jiang Xianwan? Defending the little junior sister, the boy sitting next to Lu Yanqing took a sip of his drink, joking. Hey, Yanqing. Aren't you into Jiang Xianwan's type? Under everyone's curious gaze, Lu Yanqing nodded. Insane. Facing the shock of those around him, Lu Yanqing remained as calm as the wind. His knuckles-jointed hand picked up a glass of whiskey and took a light sip. Subsequently, he took a phone call and left, and Gu Yanchen followed hesitantly. Lu Yanqing was chatting on the phone when someone suddenly grabbed his arm. Gu Yanchen looked displeased. What did you just say? Which part? Like Jiang Xianwan type. Gu Yanchen impatiently added. I appreciate her. Lu Yanqing shamelessly said. Where are you at? Lu Yanqing shook his hand off. Scoffed. What? You're divorced, and you still care about this? Lu Yanqing. Gu Yanchen yelled angrily. Jiang Xianwan is mine. You're not allowed to touch her. This sentence piqued Lu Yanqing's interest. He hung up the phone, looking faintly at Gu Yanchen. Is that yours? When those people insulted and slandered Jiang Xianwan just now, why didn't you speak up? Why didn't you ask everyone to be gentle with their words? At that party, everyone in the world said you and Lin Qingpi were truly in love. She was left alone in the corner by you. And even forced by your brothers to let you and Lin Qingpi be together. Why didn't you say Jiang Xianwan was yours? After the party, you and Lin Qingpi took a car home. She, a young girl, walked back in the dark barefoot. Have you ever thought of her as your wife? Gu Yanchen was stunned. He didn't expect the usually silent Lu Yanqing to say so much in one go, let alone that what he said was so hurtful. Yes, he hadn't cherished her at all, so why should he care who liked her? He had already divorced her. They no longer had any connection. But the thought of Jiang Xianwan being with someone else made Gu Yanchen's heart feel as if it were being gripped tightly by a huge hand. A pain he couldn't stop. Gu Yanchen's eyes turned bloodshot. That's between her and me. It's none of your business to judge. Lu Yanqing, I thought of you as a brother. What did you think of me? When exactly did you two start hiding this affair from me? At that party, did you two start getting together then? In the hallway. People were scared to take their usual routes due to the two of them. Lu Yanqing replied calmly, I was just admiring you at first. Since you're so angry about it, I might as well give it a try. Gu Yanchen heard this and clenched his fists, rushing forward, but was held down by the bodyguards who arrived. Lu Yanqing turned and walked forward, Gu Yanchen shouting at his back. Lu Yanqing, if you dare to touch Jiang Xianwan, I won't let you go. 13. Jiang Xianwan stayed alone in the suburbs for a long time after returning. Until Chen Shuoxuan's call broke the tranquility. Chen Shuoxuan is about to get married, and she has her eye on a jade rui from an auction, wanting to bid on it as part of her dowry. However, on the day of the auction, she has an unavoidable meeting. So she asks Jiang Xianwan to go in her place. Jiang Xianwan doesn't particularly enjoy these types of events, but given the circumstances, she doesn't refuse. She doesn't want to dress up. Just tying her hair up and casually putting on a white dress before going. When she arrives at the auction, she finds a quiet corner to sit and wait. Soon, buyers started trickling in. Compared to their formal gowns, Jiang Xianwan looked quite shabby. Drawing glances from others. What's wrong? How did Christie's auction become so shabby? Anyone can just get in now. Did you get into the wrong room? Probably a relative of the security guard, sneaking in through the back door, to broaden their horizons, and have their supervisor come and drive her away. Just as the situation was tense, a sudden commotion at the door attracted their attention. Jiang Xianwan looked towards the sound. Gu Yanchen and Lin Qingpei walked into the auction, surrounded by a group of brothers. Wow! Gu Yanchen is bringing his wife again. This is bad. I'm definitely going to come away with nothing from this auction. Indeed, second marriages are different. They know how to cherish their wives. They are too indulgent. His second wife is much prettier than his first one. But how long has he been divorced for? The current one is already so pregnant. Did they start seeing each other before the divorce? Hearing this, Jiang Xianwan felt no sadness. She just listened, cursing her bad luck in her heart, wondering how she could end up meeting them. She took out her sunglasses from her bag and put them on with trembling hands. The woman in the sundress, with red nails, noticed her action and whispered, Ugly people always make a fuss. Jiang Xianwan paid no attention, just shrinking in the corner and quietly praying for everything to go smoothly. Not long after the auction started, Gu Yanchen kept lighting candles for Lin Qingpei. She bought everything that caught her curiosity or even just drew her gaze. And everyone in the room praised Gu Yanchen's domineering behavior, while Jiang Xianwan felt like she was sitting on pins and needles, wishing she could dig a hole and escape immediately. Next up was the jade rui. A buyer made a bid, and Jiang Xianwan didn't follow immediately, but instead held her breath, secretly glancing at Lin Qingpei and Gu Yanchen, only raising her paddle to bid quietly once she confirmed that neither of them were interested in the jade rui. The woman who had just mocked her saw Jiang Xianwan raise her placard, snorted, and then raised her own placard. 3 million. She went straight up, adding 1 million directly. Jiang Xianwan remained calm, raised her placard again, and each time she raised it, she only added the minimum increment. After 5 and 4 cycles converged, Jiang Xianwan has always been one step ahead of her. The woman mocked. You still want to participate? Do you know what a banner means? Each banner adds 200,000. Her gaze was disdainful as she scanned Jiang Xianwan from top to bottom. I'm afraid you'll be holding it with your hands, but you'll need your body to pay back. Jiang Xianwan replied calmly. It's none of your concern. I have the ability to pay if I dare to bid. If you like this jade rui, just bid directly. Let's compete fairly. It was a perfectly good sentence. But when it reached someone else's ears, it completely lost its meaning. Her friends burst into laughter and started teasing her. Xiao Wu. She doubts your abilities. You should prove yourself quickly. Better not. How much inheritance did your deadbeat dad leave you? Can it withstand you spending it so recklessly? A woman blushed and looked left and right awkwardly. Finally, she seemed to make up her mind to fight with Jiang Xianwan, determined to take revenge on her soft target for the suffering she had endured from her rowdy friends. The woman quickly raised her hand, summoning the auctioneer over. All right. Now let's see if you have money or if my pocket is tougher. 14. As the auctioneer stepped forward, all eyes followed her. Even Lin Qingpei, who was usually uninterested in crowds, looked over. This woman is disrupting the normal order of the auction. I demand that you have her re-verified for her assets. Jiang Xianwan, seeing the situation becoming increasingly chaotic, decided to cut her losses. Besides, the current price has already exceeded her and Chen Xuexuan's psychological expectations. Originally, she planned to contribute some extra money to help her sister fulfill her wish. But seeing the person in front of her being relentless, it seemed pointless to continue. The woman, however, wouldn't let her go easily and grabbed Jiang Xianwan, who was about to leave. Scared now. Too late. Jiang Xianwan's wrist was grabbed painfully, and she struggled to push her away. Women's friends gathered around her, with malicious smiles on their faces. A fat and round-faced man quietly approached her. Don't be afraid, little sister. We're just having fun with you. If you agree to spend the night with your brother, I can take care of Xiao Wu for you. Chen Jingxue. Have you gone crazy with lust for women? You'd even go for a woman like this? Jiang Xianwan kept backing away. This is a public place. What do you think you're doing? A woman impatiently pushed her down. Jiang Xianwan fell to the ground, and her sunglasses also fell off. Pretty nice. The man's greedy gaze moved from Jiang Xianwan's face to her body. Come beg for your brother's forgiveness, or else I really can't protect you later. As the man reached for Jiang Xianwan, a scream went up from the crowd. Gu Yanchen didn't know when he rushed over, grabbed the man's hand, and struck the man's face hard with one punch. Then another. The other party was bleeding profusely from the head, lying on the ground, desperately covering it. Gu Yao. Gu Yao. Spare me. Gu Yanchen's brother walked over to mediate, Lin Qingpei supporting her stomach, blocking him in panic. But Gu Yanchen was still not satisfied, stepping forward to kick the man. Who told you to touch her? Die for me. People around were surprised, not knowing how he had offended Gu Yanchen. It was about to turn into a fatal incident, when Jiang Xianwan stood up and said coldly, enough. With just one sentence, Gu Yanchen obediently stopped, and quickly walked over to check Jiang Xianwan. Are you injured? This sentence is very familiar. Back then after the car accident, the first thing he said when he got up was what he said to Lin Qingpei. Jiang Xianwan remained expressionless. It's nothing. The onlookers all widened their eyes. Gu Yanchen had lost his temper to defend this woman. The woman who had just mocked Jiang Xianwan backed up in fear. Gu Yanchen turned to glare at the group, his gaze ice-cold to the extreme. A few pathetic little brats actually dare to bully my wife. Are they really not afraid of dying? A group of people exchanged glances. Wife? Isn't Gu Yanchen's wife Lin Qingpei? How come it's... Could it be that the messy woman in front is Gu Yanchen's so-called ex-wife? Mr. Gu, I'm sorry. We didn't know her relationship with you. You're a big-heart person. Forgive me this once. Don't stop our cooperation. My dad will definitely beat me to death if he finds out. Jiang Xianwan didn't have the heart to listen anymore and turned to leave. Gu Yanchen, however, grabbed her and reached out to light the lantern again. Xianwan. Don't you like that? I'll buy it for you. Jiang Xianwan froze. Another classic line he used to say to Lin Qingpei, now being used on her. She impatiently pulled her hand back. No need. It's just a small gift. Consider it a celebration of your return. Gu Yanchen handed over the jade rui. 16. I really don't need it. Jiang Xianwan's patience was almost exhausted. At this moment, Lin Qingpei walked over supporting her big belly, smiling like bathed in spring breeze. Here you go. Consider it a token of our goodwill. We couldn't reach you on our wedding day. So we couldn't even give you a favor bag gift. This gift is in place of the favor bag gift. Please don't mind. Jiang Xianwan clenched her teeth tightly and forced a smile. Several million worth of jade rui as a favor bag gift. That's really generous. But it's really unnecessary. Since I didn't attend your wedding and didn't give a wedding gift, naturally, I shouldn't accept a favor bag gift either. I have something to attend to. So I'll go first. Jiang Xianwan felt she was about to suffocate if she stayed any longer. As if she would faint at any moment. All she wanted was to leave this place of trouble quickly. The moment she moved her feet, she noticed Gu Yanchen approaching. Suddenly, the door opened, and someone walked in. He pulled Jiang Xianwan into his arms. Jiang Xianwan felt drowsy, only able to smell a familiar scent of perfume, which, for some reason, instantly brought her a sense of relief. People around began whispering, "Isn't this Lu Yanqing? How could he be with Gu Yanchen's ex-wife? I heard he's always been indifferent to women." "I don't think so." Lu Yanqing ignored everyone's astonishment and lowered his head, getting close to Jiang Xianwan, his face full of tenderness. "Why didn't you tell me you're coming to the auction?" He glanced at the jade rui on Gu Yanchen's hand. "You like this little trinket? Husband will buy it for you." This appellation caused an uproar among the people around. Gu Yanchen's pupils trembled, as if struck by lightning. Stiffening in place. What did he claim to be related to Jiang Xianwan? Old husband. The heart of Gu Yanchen seemed to be tightly gripped by someone's hand, making it impossible to breathe. Lu Yanqing raised his head, meeting Gu Yanchen's gaze. "Auctioneer, help me wrap this jade rui." "But, Master Gu has already lit the lantern." "Is that so?" "However, the hammer hasn't fallen. So the Lu family still has the priority to purchase." Blood dripped from the scab on his forehead, making Gu Yanchen's eyes appear crimson. "Lu Yanqing, let Xiaoan go." He rushed forward, but Lu Yanqing's bodyguards stopped him. Jiang Xianwan, with a dazed head, whispered, "Let's go." Lu Yanqing then carried her across his arms and left the auction. In the Maybach, Jiang Xianwan struggled out of the other's embrace, her head leaning against the window, gazing blankly outside. The two walked in silence. "Why did you say those misleading things?" Jiang Xianwan asked with a wooden expression. Lu Yanqing said nothing, his silent eyes like a still pool. All traces of his earlier carefree and domineering expression gone. The air in the car seemed to freeze. The driver held his breath, glancing back cautiously. "How about it? Afraid your precious ex-husband will misunderstand?" Lu Yanqing said. "You're not afraid of a single unmarried young man. What's there to fear from me? A divorced one?" Jiang Xianwan replied. Lu Yanqing bent down, his palm gripping Jiang Xianwan's chin with the heel of his hand, eyes fixed intently on her. "Well then, let's make this official." He kissed her. A family villa. Gu Yanchen sat on the sofa, his 5 fingers. He had drunk a lot of alcohol. His head was splitting. The more painful it was, the more he thought about things from the past. He remembered Jiang Xianwan making him a hangover soup, clearly a girl who never touched the slightest bit of alcohol. But for him, she had forced herself to learn how to pour tea and water, and the daily chores of cooking and housekeeping. Finally, the indulgence was completely worn away. The slender hands became rough and calloused, and it felt painful to touch. Suddenly, he remembered the things from the day. Jiang Xianwan huddled in Lu Yanqing's arms, trembling, fearful, sad, the tightly furrowed brows, the vulnerability that had never been shown to him before, were all shamelessly displayed before Lu Yanqing. A clatter. A glass of water was placed on the glass table in front of Gu Yanchen. The hand holding the cup, pale and slender, looked up. It was a pair of eyes filled with anger. Lin Qingpei was angry. 17. The story of Lu Yanqing and Jiang Xianwan had spread like wildfire in the Beijing circle, just as dawn broke. Jiang Xianwan was woken up by an urgent phone call. She answered it in a daze. As soon as she brought the phone close, a scream came from the other end. "Jiang Xianwan, are you with Lu Yanqing? Is it true? Why didn't you tell me?" "They told me. And I only found out that my jade rui was also taken by him. Remind me to thank him properly. By the way, how far have you two come? I heard he claims to be your husband. What's going on? Why aren't you speaking? Tell me quickly." Chen Xuexuan was talking non-stop, while Jiang Xianwan pulled the distance between herself and her phone, and replied in a gruff voice. You should calm down first. I have absolutely no relationship with him. He was just joking. Chen Shuoxuan. Lu Yanqing. In Chen Shuoxuan's words, Jiang Xiangwan seemed to see Lu Yanqing in a suit. The suit was perfectly ironed, neat and tidy, yet amidst the bustling crowd at the banquet, his eyes revealed a sense of loneliness. Jiang Xiangwan always felt this way in his eyes. So, that kind of person jokingly calls himself your husband. I simply don't believe it. No matter what, he must like you. Chen Shuoxuan analyzed. Jiang Xiangwan suddenly remembered the previous kisses, and she touched her own lips in a lingering manner. At that time, I was being bothered. The situation was special, and that's why he spoke up to rescue me. I've only met him a few times. How could he possibly like me? Moreover, he should have a girlfriend. Yes, he didn't deny it that night. There were still butterfly-shaped things from his girlfriend hanging in the car. Such feelings were absolutely impossible to allow someone else to interfere with. But why must he be so hard on himself, saving himself time and time again? Girlfriend? Impossible. If he had a girlfriend, his family's old man would be doing cartwheels. You know, he hasn't even had a mistress in all these years. We don't even know how he manages his male needs. Xiaoan, Lu Yanqing is really great. You must seize the opportunity well. I don't need to hide it from you. I know who was pestering you that day was Gu Yanchen. Think about it. If Lu Yanqing didn't have feelings, would he declare his dominance in front of so many people? Chen Shuoxuan chattered on. And Jiang Xiangwan nodded obediently in agreement. She didn't want to hide the matter with Gu Yanchen like last time, getting into trouble with Miss Zhang and then being bombarded with consecutive death calls from her. Finally, Chen Shuoxuan suddenly changed the topic to letting Jiang Xiangwan hold a photography exhibition. Jiang Xiangwan is an enthusiast of photography. During university, her works won numerous awards, and she originally planned to pursue a career in photography after graduation. However, she put it aside later to take care of Gu Yanchen. It wasn't until this trip that she rediscovered this forgotten hobby. Under Chen Shuoxuan's arrangement, they settled on a red brick factory as the exhibition venue. The building is 5 kilometers from the center of Beijing. With rustic red brick exterior walls and a clean concrete interior, it's natural yet rough, very suitable for Jiang Xiangwan's photo style. They acted promptly. Chen Shuoxuan immediately contacted the person in charge of the red brick factory, but was told that it was no longer available for rent to outsiders. Unwilling to give up, Chen Shuoxuan tried to persuade them further, but it seemed to have little effect. As the two were about to give up, the person in charge called, saying the homeowner had never agreed to let the photographer go to Jingwu Manor tomorrow to discuss the rental. Both Chen Shuoxuan and the person in charge were immersed in this great joy. Only Jiang Xiangwan remained stunned on the spot. 18. To celebrate the victory in advance, Chen Shuoxuan dragged Jiang Xiangwan and a group of sisters to a KTV to sing at night. In the pitch black, fluorescent lights kept spinning non-stop. Chen Shuoxuan had some boys over to sing along. Perhaps all knew each other, and the atmosphere quickly warmed up. They all danced energetically in front. Jiang Xiangwan was sitting bored, constantly eating watermelon from the fruit platter. Soon, the watermelon was finished, and she looked towards the fruit plate in the distance. A group of boys were fortune-telling for the sisters, touching their palms repeatedly, talking about career first, then love, full of flattery in their words. The sisters were laughing heartily. One of the boys perhaps noticed Jiang Xiangwan's gaze. With a smile on his lips, he reached for a few pieces of watermelon and asked her with his mouth open, "Is this it?" Jiang Xiangwan immediately turned his head, pretending not to see. Among the group of boys, he was fresh-looking with clear features. His hair color was natural, blackish-brown. He didn't talk much, was quiet, and occasionally spoke a few words. Suddenly, Jiang Xiangwan heard a drunk sister murmur, "Don't go, Chen Yu. Where are you going? Don't leave me. I'll get you drinks." "No, I'll give you anything you want. You should get some good sleep. I'll be back soon," the boy said gently. "Yu Guangzhong." The boy stood up and walked towards Jiang Xiangwan. "Is this what you want?" He handed her the watermelon. Jiang Xiangwan looked up. The boy before her was truly dazzling. His eyes were like just melted clear springs from a mountain gully. Clear and bright, with a hint of pure, youthful amusement. She awkwardly took it with her hand and nodded. "Thank you." A boy revealed a very pretty smile, then sat down, close to her. Jiang Xiaonuan could faintly smell the scent of his cologne on him. Very faint. Only noticeable if you sniffed carefully. A very faint peach scent. I heard from Shuexian that you're a photographer, preparing to open a photo exhibition. Jiang Xiaonuan, holding a piece of watermelon in his hand, was biting into it when he heard this, and immediately shook his head. Just shooting for fun. Ah, she showed us your photos too. The boy's lips curled into a smile, perhaps fearing the nearby singing was too loud for the other person to hear. He moved closer, pressing close to Jiang Xiaonuan's ear and whispering softly. That boy by the pool took some really good photos. Warm air drifted into Jiang Xiaonuan's ear, and her face flushed instantly. The boy continued. I often have to take photos at work too. I'd like to ask you for some advice on shooting techniques, so I can remind the photographer. Jiang Xiaonuan quickly waved her hands. That was just casual shooting, mainly because the lighting was good and the model was pretty. My role wasn't significant. You're so beautiful. Just shoot randomly and it'll still look great. The boy tilted his head, his eyes full of tenderness. Am I pretty? His tone carried a hint of allure. Jiang Xiaonuan didn't know how to answer when suddenly her tipsy sister rushed over. Wine spilled from my hand onto Jiang Xiaonuan's body. The boy was hit hard, reached out and took the girl's cup, then turned and asked with a smile. Are you awake? The girl mumbled. You're biased. Jealous? The boy asked lightly. The girl nodded heavily. The boy smiled and whispered something in her ear, and the girl's heart immediately burst with joy. Jiang Xiaonuan didn't look at the two, just fiddled with the wine on her body and took out a few tissues before stepping out of the private room. After tidying up in the restroom, Jiang Xiaonuan had just come out when she saw the boy from earlier standing in the hallway. I'm sorry. Jiang Xiaonuan shook her head. It's okay. It's none of your business. The boy lowered his head, staring intently at Jiang Xiaonuan's white dress. The area around his abdomen was wet with wine, revealing faint outlines of flesh. He paused, then whispered, I'll buy you a new dress. Jiang Xiaonuan shook her head and said, No. It's okay. I can wash it at home. He hadn't finished speaking when the boy gently patted her head. You're so good. The boy pressed Jiang Xiaonuan against the wall, his lips brushing against her face. If it's not about money, then tonight, I'll keep you company. Jiang Xiaonuan widened her eyes and pushed him away forcefully. No, don't. The boy found it amusing and was about to kiss her when suddenly a force pulled him and threw him to the side. The person who arrived was Gu Yanchen, his expression dark, his eyes revealing killing intent. Want to die? Daring to touch my woman? Gu Yanchen was about to punch, but Jiang Xiaonuan quickly grabbed his clothes. Gu Yanchen impatiently pushed her away, and Jiang Xiaonuan immediately rushed forward, blocking the boy's path. When they were at an impasse, she slapped Gu Yanchen. Are you awake? Gu Yanchen froze slightly, staring at Jiang Xiaonuan in disbelief. Why did you hit me for a male model? Calm down. Jiang Xiaonuan said expressionlessly. This isn't what you think. He didn't do anything wrong. He just. Gu Yanchen was speechless, laughing in anger. He's right. So you agree? Fighting in the hallway like this? Jiang Xiaonuan, are you so desperate without me? Gu Yanchen. Watch your mouth. Jiang Xiaonuan widened her eyes, gritting her teeth. Not clean. Am I not dirty enough for you? Gu Yanchen's neck veins bulged. Lu Yanqing is one thing, but men like this, you're willing to take. If not, I'll tell Lin Qingpi to recruit you. How about that? How could he humiliate her like this? Jiang Xiaonuan trembled with anger, her eyes turning red. She raised her hand, about to slap him again, but was caught by the boy beside her. Xiaoan, who is he? The boy's gentle tone reached Jiang Xiaonuan's ears. Your boyfriend. So angry. The boy's fingers deliberately or unintentionally rubbed Jiang Xiaonuan's arm, as if to comfort her. Jiang Xiaonuan suddenly calmed down. No, we're not related. Oh. The boy pretended to suddenly understand, then added. That's really interesting. I've only ever seen my boyfriend or husband get this jealous. How can someone without a name or status be so nosy about others' happiness? It's not jealousy. I was just. Gu Yanchen was about to say something harsher, but he suddenly stopped, his jaw tensing into a straight line, his chest rising and falling with anger. Jiang Xiaonuan's expression eased. It's best not to be jealous. Please don't meddle anymore. After speaking, Jiang Xianwan and the boy turned and left. Gu Yanchen came up and grabbed Jiang Xianwan's hand. Are you still leaving with him? Why? Jiang Xianwan impatiently shook her hand off. Don't touch me. The boy beside her, however, was not annoyed and explained patiently. A man and a woman walking together. Of course. Do some happy things. Sir, the night is already halfway through. Please don't disturb us anymore. After speaking, the two disappeared at the end of the corridor. Gu Yanchen was furious. His mind racing with thoughts of Jiang Xianwan and the boy going where. What would happen tonight? But he no longer had the right to meddle in her affairs. Yes. He lost this qualification. After returning to the cabin, he drank several bottles of wine as if his life depended on it, eventually collapsing onto the sofa. Dreaming of Jiang Xianwan and shouting her name. These mutterings made the surrounding brothers exchange glances. 19. Jiang Xianwan, dazed, followed the boy to the underground parking lot. He opened the car door, but Jiang Xianwan lowered her head, standing still. With no intention of getting in. Get in. I'll take you home, the boy said gently. Jiang Xianwan looked at the understanding man in front of her, about to bend down and get in the car. When she was grabbed by a hand from behind. Don't bother, I can take her home myself. The voice was cold, but unquestionable. Jiang Xianwan thought it was Gu Yanchen, but upon turning around, she found it was Lu Yanqing. His face was expressionless, his eyes cold, and for some reason, Jiang Xianwan felt a sense of shyness, so she got out of the car again. Lu Yanqing grabbed her and started to walk her back. Jiang Xianwan whispered to the boy, "Thank you for tonight." The boy smiled without a word, and only after he left did he sigh. Today was really interesting. Jiang Xianwan was pushed into the passenger seat by Lu Yanqing, and before she could react, the door slammed shut. And with a roar, the car sped out of the underground parking lot. Jiang Xianwan gripped the seatbelt tightly, just as she was about to say, "Slow down." She glanced at Lu Yanqing's expression and swallowed her words, until they had passed the third car and nearly hit the one in front. Jiang Xianwan couldn't hold back any longer and finally spoke. "Slow down." The speed didn't decrease. They passed another car. "Lu Yanqing, I told you to drive slower," Jiang Xianwan said loudly. "Didn't you just say you were in a hurry to go home?" Lu Yanqing's tone was devoid of warmth. Or perhaps the man who was taking you home wasn't the one you were expecting, and you're disappointed. Jiang Xianwan didn't have the energy to argue. "If you don't want to take me, just let me off." Hearing this, Lu Yanqing scoffed, a hint of darkness flashing in his eyes. The car slows down. Just as the car reached the bottom of the stairs, a sudden downpour hit the sky. Jiang Xianwan quickly pushed open the car door. Without hesitation, ran out. By the time she returned, she was completely drenched. She wiped herself clean, took a warm shower, and then made a cup of hot milk. Finally, she began to relax. She held the cup, watching the rain, full of doubts. But she glimpsed Lu Yanqing's car still downstairs, without lights on. What's going on? Is it out of gas? Jiang Xianwan put on a coat and picked up an umbrella casually. Just as she reached the bottom of the stairs, the car had already left. So unlucky. The next day, she was supposed to discuss the exhibition cooperation with the red brick building. But by the time Jiang Xianwan woke up, it was already close to noon. She quickly got dressed and took a taxi to Zhongwu Manor according to the address. She wore a professional outfit. Her slightly curled hair cascaded over her chest, and her face had a touch of light makeup, like a lotus emerging from clear water. As soon as she got out of the car, she couldn't help but sigh inwardly, realizing that Beijing actually had such a large manor. Through the gap in the iron gate, a vast garden full of sunflowers could be seen ahead. Tall pine trees were arranged on both sides, shading the sky. But they couldn't block the field of sunflowers. The butler led her inside, and in front of the courtyard was a pond, with water gurgling and splashing over emerald columns, dazzling under the sunlight. Upon entering, there was a Chinese-style living room with carved towers and columns. Exuding an ancient charm, the butler led Jiang Xianwan to the study. "Miss Jiang, please wait." This study was very large, equivalent to 3 ordinary apartments in Beijing. She looked around, seeing bookshelves filled with some ancient books or modern classics. Suggesting the owner was a seasoned elderly person, she lowered her gaze at the desk. The desk was arranged with documents, blank paper, a watch, and a pile of pens. One pen in the pen holder was quite special, a thumb-sized, natural wood-colored pen with a small panda on top at the tip. Like a cultural and creative item bought after visiting a zoo, Jiang Xianwan picked up the pen, looking left and right. It seems this person still has a bit of childlike innocence, not being a complete old-fashioned stick-in-the-mud. Is it good-looking? Jiang photographer. Jiang Xianwan jumped when she heard someone call her name, the pen in her hand falling to the ground instantly. She hurriedly bent down to pick it up. Looking at the owner with a full face of apology, she then realized that the person who came was Lu Yanqing. "How is it you?" Jiang Xianwan exclaimed in surprise. He walked over, took the pen from Jiang Xianwan's hand, gently blew the dust off it, as if treating it as a treasure. "How could it possibly be me?" Lu Yanqing inserted the pen into the pen holder, pulled out the chair, and sat down. "Did you bring the proposal?" Jiang Xianwan froze for a moment, then handed over the proposal. Lu Yanqing took it, looked down at the proposal, his gaze focused. This demeanor made Jiang Xianwan nervous. She held her breath, as if receiving a review on the square. "Jiang Xianwan." "Yes." Jiang Xianwan's yes came from the dantian, clear and crisp, with a hint of hesitation, like a kindergarten teacher calling roll. The children's replies. Lu Yanqing couldn't suppress the smile on his lips anymore. "Sit down." Jiang Xianwan awkwardly pulled out a chair and sat down. After a long while, Jiang Xianwan watched Lu Yanqing turn to the last page and close the proposal. "Will you be free later?" Jiang Xianwan frowned curiously and asked, "What's wrong? Is there something wrong with this proposal of mine?" "I can't tell." Lu Yanqing said lightly, "I'm hungry and can't think with a brain." So he couldn't tell, and was putting on a show. "You can think slowly, and you can reply to me in a few days too." Jiang Xianwan stood up, the chair dragging a long trail of noise. Lu Yanqing nodded, looking completely indifferent. "Since you're not in a hurry, it doesn't matter." With that, he pushed Jiang Xianwan's proposal to the very bottom of a stack of documents. Jiang Xianwan glared at him angrily and grabbed her bag to leave. She got lost in the end, walked around the house in circles, and still ended up back where she started. Lu Yanqing leaned against the door with his feet crossed, as if he had known all along about her predicament. 20. High heels are a bit rough on the feet. Jiang Xianwan limped over, her tone softening. "Can you take me out?" "Wait." Lu Yanqing walked back to the study, and when he returned, he was holding a pair of pink flat shoes. He crouched down and grabbed Jiang Xianwan's ankle. "I can manage on my own." Jiang Xianwan couldn't stand steadily, holding onto his shoulder for balance. "Be quiet." Lu Yanqing carefully took Jiang Xianwan's high-heeled round-toe shoes and replaced them with flat shoes for her. The shoes fit perfectly. Size 37. Exactly Jiang Xianwan's size. A string of heart-shaped diamond rings formed a shape, tightly attached to the shoe surface. Perhaps it was a gift for his girlfriend. But how to put it in the study? Lu Yanqing drove Jiang Xianwan out. The car just arrived at the door. The door rail opened. The horse path extends straight forward, looking through the window. The trees on both sides sway. The wind outside is very strong. Maybe it will rain. Early autumn season. A bit cool, but the car is warm. Pink butterfly pendant gently swayed. Jiang Xianwan only glanced at it and soon averted her eyes. The car finally stopped in front of a restaurant. Jiang Xianwan didn't get out immediately. "Why are we here? Didn't you say you'd take me home?" "Miss, it's mealtime now. I'm hungry. Can we eat first and then take you?" Lu Yanqing leaned his arm against the car door, looking at Jiang Xianwan who wasn't moving. "Hurt your feet and can't walk. Right. I'll carry you in." After speaking, Lu Yanqing put on an act and bent over. Just as his hand swept into her knee, Jiang Xianwan immediately broke free and stood up. "I can walk. I can walk." Sitting at the dining table, Jiang Xianwan casually ordered a salad. Lu Yanqing took the menu. "I'll have a T-bone steak, Chardonnay wine, produced in 2007. A order of fries, and a peach mousse cake. No dessert after the main course." Jiang Xianwan heard more and more that something was wrong. This seemed to be exactly what she liked. After finishing the dessert, Lu Yanqing finally slowly ordered a couple of dishes. Obviously his favorite cuisine. The two quietly sawed their steaks. Jiang Xianwan's gaze fell on the peach mousse cake. She stopped, Took a spoonful. The peach flavor was rich. The texture was silky. Missing it. The peaches from the Italian white? Lu Yanqing suddenly asked. Jiang Xianwan froze. How do you know I went to Italy white rich? Then she suddenly realized. Oh, because of those photos. Lu Yanqing speared a piece of steak, put it in his mouth, and looked at her intently. Didn't we go? 20 years ago. You and your mom came to Italy for a vacation, and you stayed at my place. Jiang Xianwan frowned and desperately searched her mind. No. 20 years ago. 20 years ago. No. I was only 6 years old 20 years ago. So what? What can a 6-year-old remember? Lu Yanqing had a cold face, chewing large bites of beef. It doesn't matter if you can't remember. I'll tell you. That whole summer, we were always together. You forced me to steal peaches for you. Kept pestering me to call you Yanqing older brother, and told everyone in the world that I would marry you. Jiang Xianwan swallowed hard. Lu Yanqing still talking non-stop. That year I was 10. I took it seriously. Shouldering the responsibility of marrying you. I wanted to give you the best. So I worked hard to establish my foundation in Italy. At the age of 18, our two families officially tied the knot. And I had someone deliver the jade butterfly as a token of affection. Jiang Xianwan paused for breath, realizing the person she was marrying was still him. You accepted it. I never thought, when I came back 5 years later, that you had already fallen for someone else. You're really good at hurting people. Jiang Xianwan. Lu Yanqing finished the entire glass of wine in one go, looking at the once cold eyes, now slightly misty. It seemed like he was genuinely hurt. I'm sorry, Jiang Xianwan murmured. No wonder you were so cold to me at first. At the park, I cried so miserably, and you were only playing with the cat. You deserve it. Lu Yanqing heavily placed the glass down on the table. If you like someone else, that's fine. It's normal for men to marry and women to get married after so many years apart. But you actually like a scumbag. Even if you die of sadness, you'll have to endure it. Hearing this, Jiang Xianwan's eyes welled up, and countless heartaches rose in her heart. 21. Yes, I deserve it. She clutched the tablecloth tightly. I was abandoned. Are you happy now? Vengeance served. You pretend to be cold and proper, privately opening champagne with your girlfriend, laughing at me behind my back. Right. So what? Lu Yanqing, I don't even remember who you are, let alone be hurt by your jokes. Lu Yanqing flinched, his eyes revealing a hint of hurt. As if wounded by the statement. I don't even remember who you are either. Jiang Xianwan trembled all over. She stood up, took off her shoes, and threw them at Lu Yanqing. Here you go. Jiang Xianwan was so angry her face turned red, tears streaming down uncontrollably. Lu Yanqing's eyelashes fluttered slightly. He stood up, helplessly holding her in his arms. Don't cry. Jiang Xianwan struggled desperately, her voice filled with tears. Let me go. What does it have to do with you? I've tolerated you for a long time. Lu Yanqing. Lu Yanqing held onto her tightly, letting her struggle in his arms. Who gives you the right to bully me? Why did you take me out of the private room? Why did you kiss me? Why did you call yourself my husband? You don't like me, and you want to see me look foolish. So you're just playing around. Or is it because of some old childhood feelings that make you feel sorry for me? Jiang Xianwan, don't go too far. How have I gone too far? You're just like Gu Yanchen, eating from the bowl while looking at the pot. I don't have a girlfriend. So what? Jiang Xianwan's tears fell in large drops. Don't cry. Lu Yanqing sighed. I'm sorry. Hearing this apology, Jiang Xianwan suddenly lowered her voice. She then noticed that all the customers in the restaurant were looking their way. So she abruptly pushed Gu Yanchen and walked out barefoot, wiping her tears. She didn't understand why she always lost control in front of Lu Yanqing. Don't understand where these emotions come from. Just feel that she can stir up a fuss in his arms. Just as she stepped out of the restaurant entrance, Lu Yanqing swept her up into his arms. Let me down. I'll take you back. Lu Yanqing carried her to the car and helped her put on her shoes again. He looked at her pale feet and said lightly, we haven't met that many times, but I've seen quite a few feet. Jiang Xianwan didn't say anything, gazing blankly out the window. It seemed she had grown tired of the commotion and slowly closed her eyes. Halfway through the drive, Jiang Xianwan murmured, this isn't fair to me. At this meal, Jiang Xianwan understood. Lu Yanqing likes himself. He is now coming to claim his right to marry her. But Lu Yanqing loved too long and too intensely. Yet Jiang Xianwan is so innocent. She just forgot. I know, Lu Jinyan said, his hand on the steering wheel, his gaze fixed fiercely ahead on the road. I also wanted to take things slow. But on the day of the auction, Gu Yanchen handed you the jade rui, with such a fervent gaze, as if he were holding his own heart. You trembled all over, weak and timid, as if you were about to give in the next moment. I've already missed you for a decade. Jiang Xianwan, I don't want to miss the next one. Think about it carefully. 22. As soon as she got out of the car, Jiang Xianwan saw someone standing at the door. After hearing the car sound, the person at the door turned around. It was Gu Yanchen. He held a bouquet of sunflowers in his hands, his face full of joy, but his expression turned cold upon seeing Lu Yanqing beside him. But in the end, he still chose to ignore Lu Yanqing and walked over, giving the flowers to Jiang Xianwan. Xianwan, I'm sorry about last time. Jiang Xianwan didn't take it, her face as cold as ice. Do you have anything else to do? It's nothing, just passing by on a business trip. Happened to see the sunflowers bought at the flower shop are very beautiful. Thought you would definitely like them. Hearing these cliché words, Jiang Xianwan thought it was better to be clear about it. Don't bother. Sunflowers that cost a dozen or so yuan per bundle. If I like them, I can buy them myself. Also, don't come here anymore. If I didn't make it clear before the divorce. Now, let me add. I hope we don't bother each other in the future. Don't bother each other. Gu Yanchen narrowed his eyes, repeating the phrase. Why? Because of Lu Yanqing, or the man before that. Every time Jiang Xianwan and Gu Yanchen talked, she felt dizzy and confused. Because of you, Lu Yanqing said coldly. My wife is almost in labor. It's a bit pointless to keep pestering a woman who doesn't love you. Gu Yanchen scoffed. Xiaoan hasn't even spoken yet. What are you meddling for? What are you to her? Did you get a promotion? She's my boyfriend. Jiang Xianwan took Lu Yanqing's hand, interlocking her fingers. Please don't disturb us in the future. I don't want my boyfriend getting jealous. As she said this, she pulled him towards the stairs. Inside the room, Jiang Xianwan poured a glass of water for Lu Yanqing. Please stay a little longer. Lu Yanqing took a sip of the water and began to look around Jiang Xianwan's room with interest. Finally his gaze settling on her. She was looking down. With the floor-to-ceiling window beside her, he walked over to her side, took off his suit jacket, and pulled her up. He gazed at Jiang Xianwan with fascination. Do you know? Downstairs, through this floor-to-ceiling window, they can see us. Want to give Gu Yanchen something interesting to look at. After speaking, he lowered his head to Jiang Xianwan's lips. Xianwan stumbled backward without warning, and Lu Yanqing tightly grasped her waist. As if they were both falling onto the sofa, Jiang Xianwan widened her eyes, gazing at Lu Yanqing with. She was close to him. His high nose seemed to poke himself. His thin lips pressed tightly together. What's wrong with your face? I'm not. After speaking, Lu Yanqing stood up, unbuttoned a few buttons, and walked to the window to close the curtains. Did he leave? Jiang Xianwan moved closer to the window, planning to peek inside. Don't. Lu Yanqing grabbed her collar, like catching a chick. If he finds out, he'll think I can't handle it. Jiang Xianwan glared at him, then became dazed again. What are you thinking about? Lu Yanqing twisted her hair and asked. I don't know. Jiang Xianwan sighed. Since the moment I left, I thought I had completely let go of Gu Yanchen. But later, I realized that letting go of someone isn't that simple. I loved him for over 10 years. It takes time. I must let him go. Jiang Xianwan said firmly. Loving him is betraying myself. Lu Yanqing swallowed hard. You still love him? Jiang Xianwan shook her head. There's no way I could ever be with him in this lifetime. Lu Yanqing hugged him from behind, her head resting on his shoulder, her voice muffled. You still love him? Jiang Xianwan turned around, reaching out to touch Lu Yanqing's face. I don't. You love him. Lu Yanqing pecked her cheek. I don't. Lu Yanqing pecked at her eye sockets. Enchanted. Jiang Xianwan. Look at me too. I'm also very good. Suddenly, those eyes were filled with tears. Suddenly, it rained heavily again. Lu Yanqing didn't leave, and stayed for the night. 23. The next morning, The two went down together. Lu Yanqing said to go to the red brick factory to see how to arrange the photography exhibition, and Jiang Xianwan followed cheerfully. The two talked and laughed their way downstairs. But Lu Yanqing, who was in front, stopped. What's wrong? Jiang Xianwan turned to see Gu Yanchen standing downstairs. He had actually been waiting downstairs all night. Jiang Xianwan's smile froze on her face instantly. As Gu Yanchen was about to say something, she quickly averted her gaze. Not giving him a chance, she had Lu Yanqing drive directly to the red brick factory. Halfway through the site, Lu Yanqing received a call. Jiang Xianwan told him to leave first. When she came out again, it was already noon. A car suddenly stopped in front of her. The door opened, and a group of black-clad men covered her mouth and nose, pushing her into the car. There was also Gu Yanchen in the car, his stubble grown, lips pale, and his bloodshot eyes revealing madness. Gu Yanchen held her down tightly. Let me go. Jiang Xianwan struggled desperately. You've been with other men. Jiang Xianwan. Gu Yanchen pressed her hand against the car corner. How does it feel? After speaking, Gu Yanchen bit her neck, and Jiang Xianwan leaned back, refusing. Let me go. You crazy person. Jiang Xianwan scratched his face with her nails, the flesh flapping out, but he stared at her intently. Do I make you feel good? Good. Better than being with you. Jiang Xianwan shouted, kicking her legs. Okay. Gu Yanchen exhaled deeply. As long as you're comfortable, Jiang Xianwan. I don't mind you dating Lu Yanqing, and you shouldn't mind me dating Lin Qingpi. How about we give it another try? I don't want to. I'll divorce Lin Qingpi. Give up the child too. Give me one more chance. Jiang Xianwan felt dizzy from the pressure. The car still turning. She managed to a sentence through the gap in her teeth. Gu Yanchen. We can't go back. We can't go back. But we have to go back. Gu Yanchen smiled widely. I have a house in the northern suburbs, with a basement, a room, 35 locks, airtight, even birds can't get out. Do you think you can get out? Jiang Xianwan looked at Gu Yanchen's crazy eyes. He seemed serious. You're crazy. That's illegal. What else can I do? Gu Yanchen stared fiercely at Jiang Xianwan. This is the only way you'll come back. Actually, this is better. You don't have to divorce Lin Qingmei, and you can be with me. You don't know. Lin Qingmei may seem aloof, but she has many tricks. I'm really a bit reluctant. Of course. I love you the most. Don't worry. I'll go every day. Listening, Jiang Xianwan burst into tears. Why do you have to do this to me? 10 years of youth, energy, money, I've given to you. Why do you have to do this to me? Gu Yanchen, do you hate me this much? Is it only when I'm dead that you'll finally let it go? Gu Yanchen froze, tears also falling. Xianwan, don't leave me. I swear. I will only love you one person in this life. Jiang Xianwan laughed, tears in her eyes, as if she heard the funniest joke in the world. Gu Yanchen, you really don't deserve it. I would rather die than be with such a scumbag like you. Suddenly, the car braked hard, and both of them lost their inertia and fell forward. It turned out that their car had collided with a large truck. Before they could react, another rollover occurred, and Gu Yanchen rushed forward and held Jiang Xianwan tightly in his arms. Don't be afraid. Snap. The two rolled continuously, with Gu Yanchen fiercely guarding the person in his arms. His back hit the ground time and again. Gu Yanchen coughed up blood. His vision blurred. He wished he could die right here. To die with Jiang Xianwan, but he still couldn't bring himself to do it. And after parking the car, he pushed Jiang Xianwan out of the car. At the end of spring in the second year, Jiang Xianwan came out of her home. As she was about to leave, Lu Yanqing ran out, handing her an umbrella. The forecast said it would rain today. So take this umbrella. Also, you have rheumatism in your back, and there's a lot of rain in the south. Let's go to the north to avoid it. Jiang Xianwan nodded. Yes. Since that car accident, deep down inside, Jiang Xianwan always got rheumatism during the rainy season. But somehow, he survived. Gu Yanchen did not survive. In the first month after his death, Jiang Xianwan finally discovered that Gu Yanchen had made a wish to donate all his inheritance to Jiang Xianwan. He always gave it back to Jiang Xianwan.